work? All right. Got really quiet. Just let us know, Tasha, when you want us to start. Okay. Did I do this right?
Yeah. I was just gonna like introduce you.
Yeah, no, it's whenever you want to do it. I thought it was soap. I was like, what am I doing?
No, it's just a moisturizing one.
Yeah, okay, I like it. I thought it was soap. I was like, uh-oh.
It's just very moisturizing.
Yeah.
So are you going to chart, or are we just taking it orally?
I can chart. I got my chart
Okay,
board right
it's up
here.
to you.
Everybody sign in this morning? You did sign in this morning, let me know this morning. Okay.
What grade level would you like for the presentation? Second? Okay. There you go. And then this is a copy of our U-fly alignment for you too. So 45 minutes, you said? Okay.
We weren't sure where you all were. Everybody was sitting, so we took it. We took a chance. I know. Like, what do they have to play with?
I asked her, I teach fifth grade.
Oh.
I taught second, fourth, and fifth, but this capacity with the children, I taught it 25 years.
Yeah.
Years here. Yes.
We're still here.
Anyway, and I've been like, it's always our kindergarten first who want to know.
Can you guys take one of these and pass them down too?
Like, I've asked her to bag.
Oh, okay. I gotta make sure
Hey,
I have
I am
more.
a former
might-
kindergarten
some of my cars-
teacher, and I am absolutely
Okay,
like that.
Can you
What
pass
is
that
it for
down?
me?
Take one to pass it down.
It's always different for kindergarten.
It is, yeah.
So I taught K-5 kids, and so I serviced all of them.
Oh, that's
My
pretty.
least favorite was kindergarten.
Oh, I love them. I just didn't do. I couldn't do the math beyond kindergarten, so I had to stay there.
People say that all the time. They thought I felt like fifth grade was teaching all like
I know I couldn't do fifth grade math. Yeah.
What grade level, Sam? 3?
Yeah, it's for you to collect, to put your stuff in. That I think is the old, yeah.
Can I use your U-fly because I
The website is
made enough?
for benchmark.
I think I sent you one. You might have. I only made 25 copies. All right, thanks. Okay. Yeah, you can keep. That's a U-fly correlation too that we've done.
Today it said, ooh, major benchmark error.
Oh, I didn't get you one? Okay. I do need it. I'm sorry. Oh, all right. I'll get you. I'll send you. Okay. The U-fly? Oh, sample. What grade level do you want? Okay, and you can have more at the end. I'm just going.
and I need a fifth grade. I don't have any.
Fourth and fifth. Okay.
Oh, did you test it? All right, it is 1 o'clock.
You guys are having way too much fun at the front.
You said fifth? Fourth. Okay.
You want us to go ahead and get started?
Fifth?
Okay.
Here's someone wanting a fifth.
All right.
Okay. Hi, I'm Chris Romans, and I am your Okaloosa rep for the area. I've worked with a lot of you before the past 5 years, so we're definitely thankful to be here again. And you know, quite honestly, the past 5 years, I know we've had ups and downs, but it's really been a good implementation for us, and I hope it's been the same for you. Today, we really want to show you some of the new things we've done specific to Florida, and I really highly encourage you, when you look at this program, look at the different Florida aspects of it that were used to create the program. This isn't a national program that just was where some things were added for Florida. This is truly a Florida program that was created specific to the states and specific to best and fast. So pay attention to that today. We're joined by Jennifer Case, who is our presenter today, and she's going to ask a few questions, and I'm going to chart them for you.
Yeah.
But,
so I know you're a current user, so what we thought would be easiest is for you to share, we know you're using the program, what are some things that you're hoping to hear today, or some things that you were wanting more of? Go for it. There's a hand over there. And he's just going to chart a couple of things. Yeah, go.
The writing.
The writing.
Writing.
Perfect. All right. Writing.
Being able to switch tests, I'm sure since every other one has, you can switch test questions up and edit.
assessment questions?
Assessment questions.
And edit. More with those.
Okay. Anything else? Okie dokie. Anything else? All right. Well, you are going to be very excited at our new version, Florida Benchmark Advanced 2026. Just like what I did right now, we actually surveyed all of our customers, and these are some of the things that they said, and some of this is what you were asking too. A much tighter alignment to instruction and assessment. Like what I'm doing in instruction is what I'm also how I'm being assessed. Never heard this one before, more fast practice. Writing was another thing that came up, as well as like supports for you, like more maybe PowerPoint slides or things that will help you prep much easier. And then finally, the scaffolding for students. And that was twofold as far as like that instruction being much more scaffolded so that they're able to access what they need to do on the fast. Good news is we listened, so we heard everything. All of this is now added plus more into the program. So as I go through today, if you see a blue banner like you see on this slide here, as well as a blue heading, just remember blue is new. So that's how we're going to approach the presentation today. I'm not going through the things that you already know about. It's more of what are the changes that we did. I do have to say this didn't change, but we did build this program, like Chris was saying, directly from the Florida Best Standards, and we've even enhanced that anymore by rewriting some of our lessons and especially our assessment questions. Here's an example of blue is new. In the past, you had the e-planner. We now have a brand new plan and teach tool. What makes it different is we've actually put the best standards right there at point of use. So when you are in the planner, you can see exactly what benchmarks, what standards you're teaching in the day, across the week, across the unit, across the year. That was not there before. You asked for that. We can still run standards reports, which means you can hit a priority standard. This is a third grade benchmark, and it will show you as you look over there to the far right. This is taught 24 times in the program, and it breaks it down by unit, week, and day. So it's really nice if you're trying to monitor like a certain standard or benchmark for students. We did not change our assessments. People did like the assessments. What we did change is we rewrote them. You guys gave us a lot of feedback on the text that we were using in our assessments. Some of those changed, but we still have it in print and digital format. So you're going to go paper, pencil, or you're going to take it online. The rigor is still there. That was something people wanted. People are seeing a lot of success with that. And then, of course, you still get those nice reports in real time and over time. And we have really seen success in districts much like yourself. This is all the districts we're in right now, which we're in about 47% of the state, is at the bottom. On the far left is the percentage. What you're looking at is the dark blue is fall 2024 scores, and then percentages, and then on the light blue is the spring. So it's showing you the percentage of 3-5 students that achieved either level 3 or higher actually doubled from fall to spring. And throughout, not only am I going to show you what's new, I want to really point back out what is an advantage to you, because you've been sitting through multiple presentations, quite honestly start to sound the same, not going to lie. So what is it really that is different about Benchmark Advance? This did not change. This was something customers really did like. You're still going to have your 10 units, they're still 3 weeks in length, and they still have that single knowledge focus where it's going to build across. Now, what's beneficial to you is you already know that structure, so you don't have to learn a whole new structure to the program. What is new is that 15, 20-day routine unit that you do right before you jump into Unit 1. Some of the feedback we got was you love the fact that this program is heavy on conversations. Kids are supposed to be doing most of the talking during the lessons. But what we heard was you wanted more instruction in how to have a conversation. So we've now added speaking and listening protocols. We no longer say turn and talk. It now says turn and talk to think. Turn and talk because. Turn and talk, why do you think that? So there's a reason to have a conversation based on the task at hand. And when you teach these, we've got it in a very step-by-step process so that kids understand how to have academic conversations. It's not on you anymore to figure that out. It's a part of our program. And we do think that's an advantage so that students understand how to talk with one another. We're grounded in the sciences of reading research, and one thing, Blue is new, you ask, and I know you've already got the program down, but people wanted a pacing guide, much like a curriculum map. So we now have added a 90-minute pacing guide that has the non-negotiables. I don't know if anyone's ever said that to you. What's the most important thing to teach? We mapped it out. So this would be great for new teachers. If you're trying to coach teachers, it's all there. So we have a very short amount of time. I think what you want to know is what have changed in the components. So what I did is I brought a sample literacy block to sort of ground us. What's on the right side is something you're very used to. Anytime you open one of our units, you've got that nice fold out, right? So what you're seeing is just week 1 of a particular part of a fold out. At the top, you're going to see read alouds. In this example, the teacher does about a 10-minute read aloud every day. Then this teacher does reading next. You're going to see reading, whole group reading, as well as application. This teacher then goes into writing and then ends the day with phonics and word study. And I know you are a UFly district. We'll show how we correlate to that, but also how we've enhanced some of our word study in the upper grades for those that are using the word study. The reading is covering the reading and vocabulary strands or standards. The writing is covered the communication, and of course your phonics and word study is covering foundations. One thing that did not change is you're still going to have a spiral around those standards, and they're going to spiral within each unit. That red dot's new, black dot is spiraling back. Same spiral is going to stay within the program itself. So you are going to be maybe teaching something in Unit 1, but it's going to come back in 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you still have that advantage of no longer teaching simply for mastery. You're teaching for transfer, because now, not mastery, memorization. You're teaching for transfer because they're having to apply it in a different setting and different text types. What is new to this spiral is we now have PowerPoint slides for all grade levels. So you have the ability to use what we give you and just like run it from the Benchmark universe, or you can download it. And actually it turns into a PowerPoint and you can add slides or customize the slides that you already have. So a recap of what's new with just the big broad overview is you have the new plan and teach. You can still run you have the new way to run the standards frequency. You have a new 90-minute planner, you have new listening protocols, and you have new PowerPoint slides. When we go for the rest, we're going to look at first knowledge building, which is your reading and writing, because I know that's what you're really focused on since some of you are using UFly. And then we will circle back, how do we connect to UFly and what are some updates to the word study. And then I know how important assessment is. We've done a lot of adding to our assessments as well as rewriting. I'm going to recircle back and make sure you understand everything you now have to support assessments. Going into knowledge-based first, that's the top part of the rope. It's where you're going to teach reading, communication, and vocabulary. So during your reading lessons, we're going to still have the 3 text types you're used to or you're familiar with. You're going to have read alouds, You're going to have your whole group reading text, which is on grade level, and you still have classroom libraries. Now, the read aloud, going back to the literacy block, 10 minutes, this did not change as far as what you have available and what we provide. You still have that trade library where 50% of these titles were from the best list. Those are longer read alouds. The shorter read alouds were found in your read aloud handbook. And then I don't know if you all remember that you had this because it's only online, but you do have read alouds for the arts available to you. So 3 different paths for your read aloud section. When it comes to the reading part, your text environment is staying similar. You've got big books at K1, you've got your text for close reading at grades 2 and above. What's changing, though, is your instruction with these sort of resources. So what I want to go into, and I know you said about vocabulary, and we can talk more about what you're looking at, because we really didn't get a lot of feedback from our vocabulary. I know for past, and then you have the selection vocabulary that comes straight from the book. Now, I'm hoping you knew that we had the multilingual glossary. Okay, that's where our picture cards are. So they're there for them to be able to view, for you to project. And then I'm assuming you found all of the vocabulary practice that we have. And after the presentation, if you want to share, you can see we've been listening. So maybe it's something we need to listen a little bit more about and we can add for you. Where we heard the most feedback was the instruction in the lessons for reading. It was this, could you make them look more like what kids are going to be seeing on the FAST test as far as the activities that are going on? And for me as a former educator, I taught kindergarten, I just want a concrete example. Like I can stand up here and tell you we changed all that language, but I want to show you how we changed all that language. So I pulled forward a 3rd grade standard, just middle of the road, identify center idea and explain how relevant details support that idea. You know we have a spiral, so in this particular unit, there's 4 separate lessons for this particular benchmark. We cleaned up some of the titles. Sometimes they were very lengthy, and they're straight to the point on what you're teaching. There it is. Identify central idea, explain relevant details. You'll still have your point of use code and your reference at the bottom. Those have always been on our lessons for you to be able to access. So here's how it works. There are 4 lessons in this particular unit. At the beginning of this unit, the lessons have it, and I should state this, we didn't change the structure of the lesson. It's still model, guide, apply. So it's still a simple planning for you to do. In the beginning, there's going to be a lot more modeling. We even wrote more language. And sometimes if it's a complex benchmark, like this is central idea and relevant details, we divided out the explanation of the language now. So we are a little more explicit. Instead of like bunching everything together, we make it a little bit clearer for them. That apply understanding here is what you are used to. If you notice, it's just an open-ended task. It says during independent time, have students mark relevant details in their reading. Doesn't say where, just says their reading, right? We did that and left it on purpose. This is a level-setting opportunity. What do your kids know right now at the beginning of this unit? But now as they go to the next lesson for this, it's going to change and tighten up. Not only did the language change, like the more of the modeling, we now rewrote the task to mirror more of what kids would see or students would see on a FAST test. Excuse me, I want to say task and test at the same time. First, we're going to model that for them. Then we're going to ask them to do it first together in their guided practice before we ask them to go and do it on their own. You know you'll still have that IELD so that you can scaffold that language and vocabulary as you see fit, and then you'll send them off to do their own apply understanding. To make it concrete, the task on the right is us, the task on the left is the FAST. So it says, how do relevant details in this section best support? Same kind of concept. In this passage, how does the author develop? So we're trying to make the task like something they would see. Now, I know you're like, well, that's great, but can't you just turn it into what it will really look like? And we can. We now have exit tickets. We left it the way it is, and I'll tell you why. Because if the task is open-ended and we let the kids do it that way, they're going to come up with their ideas. But now when we put the exit ticket in front of them, they have 4 choices compared to their ideas. So it's built-in test prep every single day. So we don't need to be prepping right before. We're engaging them in that kind of thinking when they're doing this activity, and then they're going to take that activity and now attach it to something that looks like what they will see on the FAST, including table match. These are PowerPoint slides. They are designed to really be done together so that you could do some of that if you want. But if you just really want kids to take it as an exit ticket, you can print them out and give it to a child as an exit ticket. The weekly and unit assessments also got rewritten to more formally align to the types of FAST questions that they have. And that was all feedback from you all. You told us what passages weren't working. You told us where the language needed to look more like Florida. And so we did go in and really touch a lot of our different assessments to tighten them up. Again, showing you that more than one and so forth. All of this changing now that you have like actual practice and what it'll look like in the lessons and with the weekly and the unit assessments, they're going to be doing it all throughout the year. Another thing you asked for us was portfolio for 3rd grade. So I know we have a couple of 3rd grades sitting here. You were doing a lot of work. You were going and you were pulling stuff from here, from our program, from here, and it was all paper. So what you asked is, could you put it into one format that we can assign, and then it will show up on the reports. So now every unit has what we call Portfolio Plus. It's an extra bank of questions written in FAST format so that they can show mastery of that particular benchmark standard. And it's going to mirror what they will see, on FAST. So they're engaging in the same types of tasks. Now 4 or 5, you just said, can we have more FAST practice? And we said, sure. So we did the same thing for you. We pulled together a bank of questions where now you can practice and see more mastery of your standards. So we do think this is an advantage because you're not doing the work anymore. We went ahead and did it, and it's also now an electronic format that filters into the same location of all your other assessments. So you got your read alouds above. You've got your reading section, which we changed the reading activities and lessons and rewrote the language. And the other reading you have is your small group reading. That did change slightly. For K1 and 2, we have decided to change what you had in the past to now what we call Comprehension Decodable Library. This library is already aligned to UFly. And the reason we went this route is they're designed to be focusing on comprehension like we usually do in small group. But we kind of controlled the text enough that they can actually read the text. And I'm not going to lie, they're super cute. They look more like trade book quality type books. Like they're engaging. They invite kids in. They've got funny stories. There's games. They're super exciting. So we think kids are going to really be drawn to these particular books. 2nd grade, where are you? Okay. 2nd grade, you get this library, plus you will have, and by the way, I should tell you, it's 6 copies per title, just like you've been used to, and there is a teacher card to help drive that comprehension work, as well as there is a little bit of phonics work in there if you need it. So grade 2, we kept the knowledge building textbook library because people liked the books, and so we kept the books. What changed for us is the instruction. You wanted very explicit, standards-focused lessons that allow you to reinforce what you just taught in whole group. So you can see here is explain how details support the central idea. That's what I just taught in 3rd grade. There's the standard target. But what we've done is when I teach it in whole group, it's a lot more of me like modeling for them, because most kids can get it from that model, but then there's a handful that are like, it didn't go where it needed to go. So what we did is we took the benchmark and we deconstructed it into a step-by-step process. So now you've got, this is it, and first you're going to do this. then you're going to do this, and then you're going to do this. So it's that extra level of support that kids might need for reinforcement, review, however you choose to use these. The books are still the same, but you're now teaching them from a different perspective. We got a lot of feedback from Reader's Theater. You get the books, but we did change the lessons. Some of you said they were taking too long, they didn't have enough focus on fluency, so we did change them and clean them up, so there is definitely more fluency focus, as well as the ability to do them in a timely manner. Didn't change, you still have your online novel study. It's going to come with all those items that you've had in the past. And you are already familiar with Benchmark Universe and going on single sign-on and so forth. So these are all the things that changed with just the reading. You now have lessons that mirror fast tasks. You've got exit tickets. You've got rewritten weekly and unit assessments, portfolio plus and practice. K2 now has a new small group decodable text set. Grade 2 has newer lessons, and then we did update the benchmark platform a little bit. We're trying to get less clicks, like more getting to things a little bit faster. So let's talk about communication that you're writing. It's that second section. We still go into making sure everything connects. So you're still going to bring out those texts to support your writing instruction. K1, we did not get a lot of feedback on the writing, so if you still have some feedback to give at the end, feel free to come up and share some of that. But it has that same grow of pictures, letters, words, phrases, all the way up to spending that big bulk of time with sentences before you string along the sentences for paragraphs. Now, in grade 2, major changes. You have 2 paths to follow for writing. You can follow your original path, which is what you've been used to for the last couple of years, where you're continuing to do that self-selected process writing, and then you add the text base, and then you alternate back and forth, back and forth. The feedback we got, though, is that it jumps in really fast with a lot of writing that sometimes kids were not really ready for. And because I feel a real strong teacher of reading, but maybe not the strongest of writing. Same with our kids. They might be real good with reading, but not so much with writing. So we've added a second path. We now have written for grades 2 and above actual best for writing success lessons. They are going to mirror exactly what you're doing. The difference is that this will replace the first 16 weeks, so units 1 through 5, and it's going to be very step by step, where in 2 and 3 you start with simple sentences, how to elaborate a simple sentence, what is a compound sentence, then you move it into paragraphs, then you move into multiple paragraphs. And that was feedback. You said we're moving too fast, kids need a review. And then you also said they need more consistent graphic organizers, they need more mentor text, and they need more teacher talk. So there's more teacher instruction. And because of that, these have PowerPoint slides. So you're going to be able to use that to guide your scaffold for students. All of the grammar's embedded. You don't need to figure any of that out. And if you choose this path, on that comprehensive planner, that weekly planner that you use that has the pink and the orange and all that, we have now 2 planners. You either pick the planner that is first path or you pick the planner that is the second path. So we make it easy. You don't have to figure any of that out. And there I got ahead of myself, because I was so excited. So for you at 4 and 5, you could go back and borrow third grade if you wanted for sentences. It's completely fine. But this one we're going to jump into more, what's a quality paragraph, like an intro, a body, really zoning in before we start adding all of those paragraphs for you. This is an advantage because you have choice. And I heard on your thing, writing is one of those things you really wanted some more support. That's instruction. But we took it an extra step because there were a handful of districts that said, could you create a writing assessment that would mirror the best writing assessment that they can take before they have to take the real assessment? So you now will have a writing assessment. It is an online assessment. You assign it to the kids. They take it online. and you have one for each of the genres. And it's going to mirror exactly what they're going to see on the test. The writing prompt, the different types of sources, exactly how they're going to have to take it. And this is not a national writing thing. We actually wrote this specific to Florida. You're going to see that Florida Benchmark Advance is on the left, Florida Writing Assessment Rubrics on the right. We looked very closely and to make sure that everything is matching. And the best part is we have AI. So now all of the writing in the program is graded by our AI system. And that's not just this writing assessment, that's all the writing on your weekly and unit assessments. Yeah. Great thing is it will tell you where the kids are falling on the rubric. It will give you the rationale. And then if you don't like it, you can override it. For me as a teacher, at least you have a starting point now. I mean, you have 35 kids in your classroom. You don't have to go through. It's going to give you a starting point. Thad, who is our tech director, they've been running reports. They're seeing about a 98% accuracy, where if teachers do override, they change it like one up or one down. So it's getting very consistent. And it will only get smarter. So this is our writing, blue is new writing lessons, new writing lesson presentation slides. You now have that best writing assessment, and you now have an AI grader for all writing in our program. Foundational skills, bottom part. We know for you that are at the primary using UFly, we passed around a brand new UFly lesson alignment. All our decodables are already aligned. They're on the UFly list. We did that a long time ago, partnered with UFly. But we've now taken it upon ourselves to take the UFly scope and sequence, which is on the left, and we've got us on the right, so you can see what lessons match that scope and sequence. And we did that because you'll still have access to the lessons if you want them, like if you want to enhance anything. But more importantly, you're going to still have access to all that online stuff. And what we've been coming out to new UFly users and doing is teaching you how to make UFly bookshelves, so that then you can pull what you want in based on what you want to pick, songs, games, whatever else you want to add to it. And I know they're doing the no phonics packages.
Well, it's an option.
Yeah, so we have it where you can just keep your phonics that you have and utilize that as you see fit with UFly. We call it the no phonics package. Or if you wanted like more of those decodable books or more of that stuff to come with, then that would be another option for you.
You still get access to the phonics components digitally. You just wouldn't get like the word mat stuff like that, but you would get all the new decodables too.
Right.
But, yeah.
And this would be one of those new things that you would get. We now have magnetic letter tile boards. So they're already magnetic, they're put together, they are right on wipe off. That would allow for your different types of routines down the middle, as well as allowing kids to do different kinds of writing. So for word study, you have always had the lesson in the guide, that's your word study lesson, and then you always had those lessons online, right? So you could go and extend the prefix, suffix, Greek, Latin root, whatever you're working on. Some changes we made is if you were using those online lessons, they didn't have the standards or benchmarks in them. We've now added all that so it matches, you know what you're teaching, as well as we've added an additional lesson. A lot of upper grades said we need more syllable fluency and vocabulary work. So we've added that type of work into those lessons so that you can work on that to build for your students. And then you had those decodable, decodables available to utilize. Now in the new program, you kept wanting them in print, so we just put them in print. And this is going to be a consumable book. Just like your text for close reading, you'll get them for the life of the adoption. So now you don't have to print anything. They're all right here for you, ready to go. The kids can mark them up. Yeah, that's the word study. Somebody had asked about word study enhancement, yeah. And then we did enhance our handwriting. So we have new handwriting support. You can see the lessons on the right look very different now. The mouth is at the top. There's a couple of more things for you to have that support as you are developing their handwriting. Still the same way, K2 is manuscript, 2 and above is cursive. When it comes to homeschool connections, the letter is still there. It will go home. It's built itself up to 6 different languages. But the activity calendar, which has always been in English on the back, we now have it available in Spanish. So if you wanted that to go home, like you could print that one with this one to go home now, that was something that was asked by several of our districts. This has already gone into play. You should already see this. We cleaned up the student version, so it's much simpler for a student. It's basically assignments or reading corner, like books that you want to read. So it's very clean, very easy for them to navigate. New thing is we are adding a parent portal. So now parents will be able to click here, which is going to give more scaffolds or tips or support for parents. So to wrap up, I know that's short because majority of the U-Fly, and there were some minor changes to work. So you now have the U-Fly lesson alignment, you have the aligned decodables already, and then you have the word study. So before I go into wrap-up assessment, is there any questions about the reading, the writing, and what we've done for foundational?
Are the consumable decodable books, are those just 3 through 5 or are those K-5?
This one here, this one is just 3 through 5, yeah, for the word study. You'll still have, at second grade, you still have the word study passage in the text for close reading. So there's still a passage there. Correct. So imagine, what's different about, this is how I see it, is like, so now students are going to have my reading and writing, my word font, my word study. Now the difference though, the reason this is thicker, is this is for units 1 through 5. So, because there's just 3 passages, it didn't make sense to make little booklets that were just 3 pages long. So you'll get, the kids will receive 2 of these throughout the year, and then they'll come for the life of the adoption. Any other questions? Okay. We have a brand new digital screener. A universal screener. You can use it for a dyslexia screener as well. That will be available to you this first year if you wanted to try it out. It's free the first year, and if you did like it, then you would have it available. You could potentially have it available afterwards. What's nice about it is it's hands-free for teachers. Kids read into the computer grabs what they're saying, and then will give you a report. And all of that reporting filters into the same reporting system that you already have, so it's not separate places to go. Do you all use Amira? Okay. We had just got a new partnership with them, letting you know that we now connect to them as well if you were already currently using them. I wanted to wrap this up because this was different. This was a huge ask. As you kept saying, we want to see the standards in more places, so it's easy for us to be able to monitor. So now you have it in a variety of places. Before they were just in the lessons. Now you have it in your weekly planner, so you can see it at a glance, weekly, unit, so forth. You still have it in your daily lessons as you've always had it. And now you've got them in your review and reteach, the small group, which you hadn't had in the past. So there's a nice path for you throughout the day with standards use. Reminder, you now have Portfolio Plus in practice. We rewrote a lot of our weekly and unit assessments, and you now have that new writing assessment. So there's definitely a lot more added to make sure that you have what you need to monitor students. Grade 1. You all had a lot to say about the grade 1 assessment. Okay. So what we did is, as you know, you were reading to them up until like unit 6, then you transfer 7, and they read on their own. What we've changed now is there used to be 2 passages, or there are 2 passages, but before you were reading them to them. Now what it is the first passage is decodable, so you can check that, and then the second passage is now is the same listening comprehension. So you have both. You know, you're assessing comprehension as well as the decodability. As I mentioned, the reports are still going to be there. You can still drill down to whatever you want to drill down for students. Sure. You've had this. I don't know if you've used it, but there is a grouping tab when you select it and you select the benchmark or the standard you want to focus on, it rearranges your kids by groups. And then this is something we've added. Once those groups are there, you now have a new recommendation button that will then tell you what resources in the program you want to use for those particular students. Oh, sorry. And of course, you're using them for small group instruction. You'll still go back to, using your UFly or word study, the strategy work with that we have. The new decodables are there with the new standards library. And then you will also still have that intervention access. So this is our comprehensive program. Everything I've said today is included in the package. So we even went that route where there aren't going to be additions. I'm not trying to sell you a gold or silver package. This is what you would get if you purchased our Florida package. A partnership, yes, it's a partnership. Any questions about that?
I will say this too, that so she mentioned that you do have the option as an existing user to not get all of the phonics components that we mentioned if you're a UFly user, which will bring the price down. And then you also, if you choose not to purchase the knowledge building libraries in grades 2 through 5, since those books have not changed, you have that option as well too. So there's certain things you can do if you already have the resources in the classroom and you don't want them again. So that's always an option too. So, did you have more?
Wanted to remind. I know you do have some of our connected solutions as well. So you have phonics intervention, and some of the schools have steps to advance. So by keeping this program, you will continue that connectiveness, which is aligned by the topic and the strategies that are built into the program. As far as professional development, I know that you're a current customer. We would still come out and continue that professional development growth. We've got to come out and show you all the new pieces, how do they fit into your classroom, and then we would support you as much as you need as you implement those new pieces. So I leave you with what we also started with earlier. Chris, I don't know if you have that list that you kept, because I think I addressed everything on that list. Yeah. As well as wanted you to know, this was not about us taking an old program and just putting a new cover on it. We really did take the feedback and try to update a lot of what you wanted and more, which you can see with the writing, the assessment, the FAST assessment, and then I know we have a little vocabulary you and I can have a chat about, but we didn't get a lot of feedback for vocabulary. Okay. So I'm going to turn it over to Chris, who's going to just quickly tell you a couple of things in the folder.
Yeah, I just want to go through the folder real briefly, and then we can open up to questions. On the right-hand side, there is what's blue is new brochure. This will kind of highlight for you in a condensed version everything that we've done new, specific to Florida. And again, I encourage you to look, at the program, and you can really tell how this was built with Florida in mind, as opposed to a reactionary program where things were just added to it to make it Florida friendly. Below that is, I know you all need digital access to the program. There's a sheet that has the credentials for the reviewer site for the new edition. So at the bottom of the page, it's got the website along with the teacher login and the student login instructions as well. And then the last thing, in the program guide that's on the right-hand side, you all are a little bit familiar with this because you have the program, but especially for new teachers, they want to know, starting on page 44 with kindergarten, this gives you a good visual of everything you get now with the program. Again, keep in mind, if you choose not to go with our phonics, the phonics components, you would not get physical copies of those. You would still have access to them digitally, but you do get all the new decodable readers that now come in K through 2. And then in grades 2 through 5, you have those small group knowledge building libraries. You don't necessarily have to get the physical books again. You would still get access to them digitally on the platform. And importantly, you would still get access to the new best lesson plans that come with all those books. those would still be available to you digitally. So you wouldn't miss out on those should you choose not to go with the actual physical books. So I think that's everything we have. Are there any questions for Jen that she can answer?
Oh, goodness gracious.
They were very specific not to put district names on them because of legality issues. So
But we can find
we
out.
can
'cause
find out, yeah.
We had Monroe County who asked that question too, and we were able to show them which number they were, so we could find that out for you.
Yes, fast practice, I think it was 3, 4, and 5, definitely 4 and 5. You know what I'm talking about?
The Practice
Yes,
Plus.
the Practice Plus,
Yep.
yes. Is that online only, or is that a workbook and online? Is it a consumable kids use?
It's just like,
get it
it's
as
not
you-
like that,
Oh.
no, it's just like all our other assessments, we have it in a reproducible format.
So it's digital or online?
Correct.
Yeah, that's one of the big things. So like in the past, you used to get physical copies of all the assessment booklets because they were changing so much and everything, and we couldn't obviously keep up with reprinting them. All of the assessments are now just online, but you could print out anything as well. So
Because if we find something that you wanted to update, like we said, like we change stories and text and things, we're able to fix that very quickly online, and then those become very updated, so we're providing.
That's the assessment for the new fast
Yeah,
practice.
all of those assessments, and even that writing assessment, it is in a PDF format if you like wanted to print it out. Because I'm thinking IEP students or students that might need a printable. Oh, new thing I forgot. Good news, we heard you on the audio for assessments. It used to be you turn it on or you turn it off. Now you will have capability to turn on different parts of it. Like if they just need to read, they got to read the questions. Yeah. So and you make that decision like you do before. You would click all those off or on, and then assign it to whoever you want to as a group or individually. We just learned that is rolling out.
So on those assessments, I'm back to that again.
Yes.
I don't think it's been answered, but maybe. You can't eliminate questions, reorder them, or can you?
You can eliminate questions. That's the only thing you can do right now.
You can't put the order different.
You cannot do, no, we don't, that is, actually I've not had that question, so that's a good question.
It would be very helpful. That's probably our biggest thing in 5th grade. The answers are out there, we think. And kids are memorizing the order.
okay,
Oh, interesting.
yeah,
But
yeah.
we're pretty sure.
Okay,
On a few.
okay.
And so, especially when there's siblings, I mean, I haven't had that experience, but I know I have another few teachers.
Okay, I will bring that forward. That's not something
So we
we've,
could like reorder them, like I know the other pieces we were trying, the answer choices, switch them around.
I see what you're asking. Yeah, so you're not asking us, yeah, that makes sense, like, you're talking about the answers, not necessarily the questions in a different order, but maybe we manipulate. Got
And
it.
can we, you said we can't take out a question if we don't like it.
You can take it out, but the caveat to that is it has to be done for everyone.
Right, but can we add a different one in? Can we take out?
Not at this point. It has to do with our data collection, and that's what we're trying to figure out, because we are trying to keep it apples to apples. So like if you're taking it out but you're not taking it out, the reports that go up to the district level then are skewed to show the actual data. So we haven't yet to figure that out. I mean, we've had that request for a while, and I think the team is trying to work on it, but it's more of the impact that we have when the reports go not just to you, but they go up to filtering up to what they're seeing actually at the top. So,
I will mention too that I have had a few questions from teachers in regards to different ideas for grading and things like that. And we
yeah.
do have, the district has right now, I don't know if they put it out because it's up to them, but we do have a document that gives you different components that you can use in the program to create grades, along with, we do have grading scale suggestions too. That's something we did not have before.
yeah. Because you all were asking us, like, is there a scale to the reports that you're getting, and how do they match to the grades beginning of the year versus the end of the year? So we have now taken that and helped to score you.
So are the tests new too, the prompts for all the tests? Did you do new reading passages, new?
Yeah, not every single one is new, but there are a lot that have been changed. And if anything, the question might be the same, but it was rewritten. Because you said this was a little like, yes, a little more like fast, or it wasn't making sense to the students, and it, this was one where they were like everybody was getting it wrong. So we did go in and kind of clean some of that up too. And take a look. I had a third grade teacher come to one of my presentations, a current user, and she'd actually gone in and compared one unit to another unit, and she stood up and she's like, I looked and they made some changes. So, and I'm like, I'm so glad.
All right, we appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, and if you want different grades of the samplers, we have them up here.